In this video, I'm going to talk about subdivision plans and their corresponding right-of-way plans, and I'm specifically looking at the ones that are since like 1972-73 when we switched over to the metric system. So this plan that we're looking at, we're going to start off at the top and look at the name of it because the names of these plans are actually very important. So we've got these numbers up here. The very first two numbers are the year. Don't worry about this one. It wasn't made in 1931 because it was after 1970s. So don't worry about the one. It's just part of the cataloging. But the first two represent the year. So if it says like 97-1, that means it was made in 1997. If it says 031, it was made in 2003. So don't get confused that we've got the 31, because there's the 31, and there's the 03, and there's the 03. This 31 and that one do not have anything to do with each other whatsoever. And this is why I'm showing this one, because I want you to be very careful that you're not going to get these confused. So here, 03, I know that it's from 2003. All the rest of the 5 digits are just counting up. So like really the first one to be registered is in 0, like it would be like 0 or 031 because they always start with 1, and then 0001. And that would be the first one. And then we can come down here. So that's really the starting point. Come down here, it tells you what the subdivision is affecting. So we had a lot, and this one's actually subdividing that lot. So subdivision affecting lot 5, so the subdivision of lot 5. And the scale, which is a unitless ratio, and scaled bar. We have our legend, which shows us which ones are placed, which ones are found. And that is, and it says those distances are shown in meters and decimals. And and tells you that it uses a NAT 83 datum, a 3-degree, like a 3 TM projection, and a reference meridian of 114 degrees west. Has this combined scale factor of 0.999738. So if you are going to be using this map, and you will be getting into this scale factor later, but if you're going to be using this map, you're going to have to apply this scale factor. If you're going to be taking the measurements here and then applying it to the ground, right? So your actual observations. So here's the plan itself. So we can see that we've got an old plan up here from 1977, right? And then we have another plan up here from 1982. And that 1982 plan covers this whole large lot that's up here. This is maybe a commercial area. And we have another lot 6, which has from 1999. And so we're looking around. There's a lot of different plans. So for example, even here, that's the distance. We don't have a road plan yet. They hadn't registered it at the time. Sometimes you will find your legal addresses for your township addresses on the maps because it might be, again, a rural area that this is being done in, or it could be a large commercial area. And you're going to find that you're going to see the different posts that they found. Usually it's along the border of the subdivision, the lot that they're subdividing. And then we have the original plan that this was started in. So this was in 2000. And they broke it down. Actually, no, this is, sorry, I'm reading like that, but this is not the plan number. CFT might be a plan line number. That's one that I'm not familiar with. So I'll be honest, I'll have to look into that for you guys and check that out, because I've just opened up a plan and I'm like, let's talk about it. So anyways, the lot 5 here, plan 1992, that was the original plan. It is now obsolete for this particular lot. So lot 5 no longer there, and this whole area has now been subdivided into 3 different lots. So the subdivided lots are lot 1, 2, and 3. It did the division of this lot 5. So we can see where they established posts, where they were unable to establish posts because of concrete. And due to concrete, we can see the angles and distances that are written here. So we can see that these angles here are based on a grid north. The reason I can say that it's based on the grid north is because of these notes, right? So I have a NAT83 datum, but I have a 3TM projection. So these numbers are going to be all the grid azimuths. And then we have distances, which are all in meters. So the older plans are all in feet, and then we have azimuths, grid azimuths in these, in DMS. So you're not going to see much else on these. Generally, you're not going to see any kind of topographic information. You will see areas, especially larger areas. They'll write those in, but they won't do that with the smaller ones, like the smaller lots. And that would be about it. It shows you road widening, so you can look up those plans. Street names and numbers, so 14th Street and 8th Avenue. So if you know that area, then you can see that there's lots of different smaller lots below. So down here, we've got our plan number. So this is an older plan. It's got the block number, and then it's actually got the numbers. This is not part of the subdivision, but is giving you an orientation as to where you are at when you are looking at this particular subdivision that has happened. So that is the main or the plain subdivision that you're going to see nowadays. This one was published here, affecting this old 1992 plan, and part of these other parts of the township area. So that is an introduction to the newer plans. So if you're working with those, you're going to see those. But there's also right-of-ways. So they created a right-of-way, and you'll find that with the right-of-ways, that is always one number ahead or two numbers ahead. So the previous one was 0313641. That was the subdivision plan. The right-of-way plans come immediately after, so this is 42. They might have a utility right-of-way, which might be 43. They might have a drainage right-of-way, which would be the 44 instead. So everything should be pretty much the same on this one. So it says distances are shown in meters and decimals, but it doesn't say that it's a grid. But you have to go back to the other plan to be able to find that. So here we have the placed points, so the placed monuments, and then the found monuments that identify the edge of lot 2. And these ones are now identifying this access. So access is like a road, so they can get in there. And then if you have a utility, that is where they're going to put utility lines like plumbing and electrical and communication. And then you'll have drainage, which is where they're putting in swale. They might be putting in like maybe some other type of drainage, right-of-way, culverts, things like that. Those are really important so your house doesn't flood, right? So again, these are in distances. These distances are in meters, and then the angles are in grid azimuths based on the previous plan. But all this does is show where the utility right-of-way is. It is not showing the boundary, like specifically the boundary to anything. It's just where you're going to find those utilities. The utility right-of-ways are often placed on the properties themselves, like even in your own home you'll have a utility right-of-way possibly, because you have like full street utilities going through. So if you do have that, then you still own that property. It just becomes the utility right-of-way, so they can come in there and dig it up anytime. So I suggest not putting any kind of like garages or retaining walls, those kinds of things in the utility right-of-way, because they have a right to destroy it. So anyways, so that just to kind of give you a heads up on that. So that is the right-of-way plans. They're pretty straightforward. They are only showing where that utility right-of-way or access right-of-way or drainage right-of-way, where are those located with respect to the subdivision plan. So that is it for regular plans and subdivision plans. There will be another video on condo plans, and that will be to explain those.